Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. A short time ago, I did a video where I was talking about Dr. Stella Immanuel. And I wasn't so much as talking about what she is prescribing. That wasn't the focus of my video at all. We've had some questions about that, wondering if I support what she is talking about in terms of the medication that she is pushing. And again, I made it very clear in the video that my focus wasn't there, but that my focus was more on the spiritual aspect of things that she was referring to. And so I cannot put an endorsement on something that I'm not familiar with. So there is no endorsement in that direction. One thing that I did want to say about that, however, is that it's not to say that what she is saying is not true. Okay, I can say that much. You can't discount what she is saying solely based on the fact that others disagree with what she is saying, because many so freely go with what is being said by others without even testing that. But when you have this woman who comes forward with proof of what she's saying, then all of a sudden she's been called all kinds of things by all different types of news media. Now, again, I still have nothing really to say in terms of endorsement of that. And even her personally, I do not know Dr. Stella Immanuel. But a lot of what she talked about on a spiritual level, I want to revisit that again. Okay? So it's a shame that sometimes you have to come and say these things, because they say, well, again, some of the questions were implying that they believed that I was helping to push her cure, you see. And I'm trying to figure out, how could you get that out of what I said in the video where I titled it Dr. Stella Immanuel, The Powers of Darkness Are Real, Whether You Believe It or Not. That is the main focus of that video, but somehow others use that to say or believe or question whether or not I was endorsing her cure. Okay, again, I'm going to reiterate, I don't know Dr. Stella Immanuel. I don't know of her cure, but I will not discount what she's saying. I will not endorse the cure, but I'm going again to talk about the powers of darkness, because it amazes me how many are making light of that. Okay, even if you remove Dr. Stella Immanuel out of the equation and just focus on what she was saying, it amazes me that with all of the strong demonic power and influence that we see in the world today, that is incredibly obvious, it amazes me how you still have those who want to sit back and make it seem like this woman is out of her mind. That part truly amazes me. You see, because we've been shown this image of what a demon-possessed person is supposed to look like, growling and snarling and spitting. You have people who will believe in demons, but they won't believe in the other side of that. They don't want to believe in the power of Yah, but they believe in the power of the devil. You see, that is so backwards to me. How can you believe in one and not the other? That gives a lot of credit to evil in this world. Now, many have had experiences. A lot of you have shared your testimonies about your experiences with incubus and succubus spirits. We've talked about that many times on this channel over the years. We've talked about it on our ministry channel. And just because you yourself have never personally had any type of experience with a demonic spirit or presence in your life, in which you probably have and don't want to accept it or acknowledge it, just because you don't want to believe in it doesn't make it not true. A lot of people go by the belief that if they've never experienced something, then it can't be true. Just like those who don't believe in the power of healing. How can you tell another person who has been healed of a disease or an infirmity that healing doesn't exist? That's why I like to refer to things that I learned at an early age, especially the young woman that I tell you all about frequently. Well, maybe not frequently, but I've said it several times on this channel and our ministry channel that I knew a young woman who was born with one short leg, and she walked at a slant or a limp or whatever, and it was a very notable difference in the length of her legs. It wasn't slight, it wasn't minor. It was very noticeable to the point where she had to get a special shoe made. Now, if you already heard this story, you're going to hear it again. For those who haven't heard it, I'm going to share it again. But this young woman was born. This is the way we knew her. Either she walked, if she had just regular shoes on, because those platform shoes are expensive, she would walk up and down, right? Or if she wore the platform shoes, that's what leveled out her walking. But after believing in the power of prayer, this young woman was healed, and that other leg grew out and met with the other and planted her feet flat on the ground. Seeing that at an early age made a believer out of me, and it didn't stop there. I've continued, even after that point, to see the miracles that the Most High is able to wrought in our lives. That's just one of the most notable ones I've seen, to where people could say, okay, something definitely took place here. It happened in a day. She didn't go off 2 weeks and come back. She went home one morning, came back that evening to church service, and that leg had grown out. No one operated on her. No one stretched it out. No one did anything. But the power and the anointing of the Ruach HaKodesh healed that young woman. And so, again, some will still be unbelievers, even witnessing stuff like that. There are still those who will not believe. They will just say it was some freak of nature. Okay? Regardless to all of that, many of you have testified of your experiences with demonic powers. And it sounds so foreign to those of you who were either born into a world where evil had already taken over in not broad daylight, but just so in the open and in the movie industry, in the music industry, to where it's normal to you. But a lot of us, we grew up in a time where things were demonized. It wasn't a normal thing to have weird sexual fetishes. It wasn't a normal thing to just do certain things that are just very clearly out of order. They're now trying to normalize sleeping with filthy animals. And so, of course, some of you are just out of touch when it comes to the power of the Ruach HaKodesh. Like, I'm even looking at some of the comments on my last video, and I'm seeing the word quack. A lot of people understand, but you are a quack. Now, they're possibly talking about me, but others have referred to Dr. Immanuel, Stella Immanuel, as a quack, as crazy, as some type of person who talks about demons and all of this, as if that's foreign. Now, you can mess around and play around with this stuff if you want to, but at the end of the day, the truth will always be. One comment here says, why is Trump promoting her? She seems very unprofessional and unkempt. She is into Obia or around those types. Okay, so she seems unprofessional and unkempt because she has natural hair. Let me guess, the person who said this, looking at your name, is quite possible that you are not African American, and so you don't understand a natural hairdo. Of course, you're going to say it's unprofessional because Dr. Stella chose not to straighten her hair. Now, I don't know for sure if you're a Gentile or an Israelite because you don't have a picture. But again, these are the things that this woman has been subjected to simply because Not only is she saying that this is a cure, but she is also revealing the dark underworld of demonic powers, and people want to say, look, she's crazy, she's a lunatic. But yet every day we are seeing people who are infiltrated by demonic powers. You think that people sitting up in the crazy houses are there because of some medical condition? See, that's what you've been tricked into believing. Many of these people are hearing voices because demonic presence is in them, or tormenting them, or infiltrated their minds, their souls, and their bodies. A lot of people have been occupied, if you know what I mean. This is why you have mental institutions. When people snap and say, something told me to do this, that, or the other, most of the time it's a dark power or dark spirit that told them to do this, that, or the other. And we like to chalk it up as someone being crazy. Where do you think crazy comes from? Who do you think drove a person to this? When a person's mind get to a certain place, you see how folks say, you out of your mind, or you done lost your mind. Why do you think that has happened? Because some dark power has infiltrated that person's mind. This is what is going on here. And yet you have those who still want to sit back and pretend like this woman is crazy. Okay, I'm looking at a number of different news outlets and a number of different talk show hosts and various people, the Young Turks, Trevor Noah, CNN, Don Lemon, and countless others who have used their platforms to try to make it, to use it against Trump, basically. They're saying, see, you all have heard everything we've had to say about Trump. See, he's endorsing this woman who says people are sleeping with demons. They're trying to make it sound crazy so that anyone who was even leaning towards this can question the validity of this political thing that they're trying to push. See, but we put the politics aside and we're not talking about that. We're talking about the spiritual aspects, the powers of darkness and light, demons and wickedness are absolutely real. All of the things that you see taking place in the world right now are controlled by beings that are not seen with physical eyes. They have to occupy a person. I can go on and on about this subject because we've talked about these things for so many times. Here's another person says she is a prime example of the spirit she speaks about. Quack. So they're saying that she's an example of that. Another person says this here, says spiritual things are foolishness to those who are perishing. Unless they are delivered, they will die in their ignorance and perish. Now that's a statement that I can agree with. That is a statement I can agree with, because spiritual things such as this are foolishness to the carnal mind. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me look at this comment here before I read it. Okay. I'm going to read this statement. This is by a man who is a white guy. He says, I am an old white guy, but there is only one race, human. I am a Christian who knows about deliverance, so I am not popular. I don't care. I know demons and Nephilim are real. I stand with her, Trump, and Q. There is a spiritual battle going on. You can be a Satanist with impunity. But if you follow Satan's creator, you are demonized. Ironic, isn't it? I believe her and trust her. She has true grit. Okay, so on this particular thread, I'm getting a number of people responding, black and white. Some people are with her in her statements, black and white, and some are not, black and white. But I'm seeing a lot of people who are simply saying, look, we are praying for her protection because we know how the system operates at times. If you come against what they have got to say, they like to deal with you in an unfair manner. I'll just put it to you that way. Here's another person who says, go back to Nigeria, not helping anyone but Satan. And so I'm trying to figure that one out. She's coming against Satan, but this person is saying that she's helping Satan. I'm trying to figure that one out. See, people say things that don't make any sense when they themselves can't connect to the truth. So she's telling you about the dark underworld, and so you're saying she's helping Satan. Again, all right. But anyway, again, I just wanted to talk about this subject again because this woman has really shaken some people. And I did want to say this too. There was another article that someone shared where it says a New York City councilman, Paul Vallone, if I remember, I will leave the link to this story. But he credits hydroxychloroquine for his recovery. Interesting. He said he had a near fatal run-in with this, and this saved his life. I'm not going to talk any more about that. I'm going to leave the link so that you can look at it yourself. Draw your own conclusion. It's on the New York Post website. Now, this man has given you his own testimony of being near fatal, but this was administered to him, and he's alive to tell the story. You can do with that what you will. Again, I'm not endorsing it. I'm just sharing this person's experience. And the majority of this particular video, I focused on the spiritual things that people want to discredit and use against this woman to declare that she is some type of quack because she believes in the powers of darkness and the powers of light. I am done with this story for now. I hope that someone can grab something from what I've said here and do your own research. Many of you already know about the powers of darkness and light, and you didn't even need me to explain it to you because you've had your own experiences. It is what it is, whether we like it or not. The truth will always be. With that, I am out. Bye-bye. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.